Hello everyone, this is Nicole from Altenew. In this video, I'll be giving you a closer look at our Craft Flower Sweet Violet layering die set. This has a wonderful layering images of the violet flower in a very detailed and sophisticated designs. You're going to use any of your cardstock that we have to layer these images together. I am going to use our gradient cardstock set with New Purple and then Warm Sunshine from the Summer Afternoon set, as well as Green Meadows. I'll be also utilizing our liquid glue pen as well as our tweezer to pick up and adhere each layers up together. So I'm going to make sure these have clean edges, make sure they have a clean cut from your die cutting machine. And I'm going to start with the second layer image. The most solid image, which is the first layer, is cut with the lightest color. I'm going to add a generous amount of liquid glue, and then we are going to go ahead and match up the cut out pieces by using our tweezer as well as our finger and by pressing it down. You have some wiggle room when it comes to using a liquid glue, but once you press it down, it might be a little hard to move it, so keep that in mind before you permanently adhere it. I'm just going to make sure they match the area and the edges that I want them to go, and they're supposed to line up to each petal for this layer. Now we're gonna go ahead and do a partial layer. This is third layer of the die set. We're gonna focus on the center portion and keep in mind of the big petal on the left. I'm just twisting and turning the die cut pieces around so that I can easily move them and adhere the new piece on top. So you can always move the directions to make it easier for you to attach the newly added layer and add all the details to be adhered to it. So you'll need to make sure all of those tiny pieces have a tiny bit of glue. If you want things to be mashed and flushed really cleanly, I highly suggest using our double-sided adhesive sheet before cutting these out. All right, now we're gonna do our last one. We're going to make sure this one is right on the center and going around the biggest petal on the left portion of the flower. Okay, now we're gonna add a tiny bit of yellow to this. This is the center portion of the flower. That's a tiny portion of this die set. And we're going to have it pointing towards the largest flower that we have, or the largest petal of the flower that we have. And that finishes our big flower. Now there is a partially bloomed flower image on this set. So I cut these layers with a New Purple color gradient cardstock as well. And starting with the bottom layer and then the second layer on top, I'm going to make sure the bottom and then the right and the left corner of each flower, it has a good matching point. And then after that, I'll be focusing on the bottom portion to build up the layer on top of each layer that we have laid down. So I'm just adding one layer at a time, giving it a nice amount of glue. Once it dries, it'll dry clear. So if you have a little bit of excess glue onto it, no worries. And then this needs to be part of the stem. So there is a stem and a little layer portion that I am adhering right now that needs to complete this look of a flower blooming. So we're going to go ahead and add that stem portion onto the flower that we just put together. And that finishes the flower image right there. Now there are two leaves here. It's fairly simple. I am using Green Meadow gradient cardstock. The largest leaf is cut out with the lightest shade of the gradient cardstock. And then I am adding the partial image with a darker shade. Okay, after that, let's go ahead and bring in another set of leaf. And this one, I started with the medium green shade, and then I am adding the layer with the darkest green shade. And that finishes all of the layering for our Craft a Flower Sweet Violet die set. I hope this was helpful. Hopefully you can craft along by watching this video, and there are a ton of inspirations done by our wonderful design team on our website, so make sure to go to our website at altenew.com and check out more inspirations there. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching.